Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It, Paint, and Live. Hope you guys are having a good Friday evening. Here we go with another one of these. So I'm just getting set up right now. We're going to do a little bit of painting tonight. We're going to do a little bit of chatting tonight. And let's just see where this goes. I am planning on painting, um, I'm painting a Reaper miniature. Ah, man, you want to drop off HP stuff? Okay. Maybe Sunday, Nelson? We can try for Sunday. I was it's our anniversary, so I couldn't do anything uh on the like miniature thing, but maybe Sunday we can do something. Anyway, let me get this. Oh, it says our stream is bad. No, yeah, we had a good evening. But we're winding down. I figure I've got to turn in this the miniature of the month for Comic Quest. So that's what I'm going to paint first, and then as time allows, we'll work on some Malifaux as well, because I'm getting pretty hyped, man. I'm getting pretty excited to try out some Malifaux. So it's been a while. So my old stomping grounds was was my favorite miniature game for a number of years, and left the game. Looks like I might be coming back, but probably not in the same manner I did the last time we were on this rodeo. So anyway, let's get started here. I am gonna do. So this is the miniature of the month, and as you can see, it's a Dwarven Bear Cavalry. I'm not much for painting dwarves, if I'm full disclosure. Just not much of a dwarf guy. All right. Dwarves are all right. I just aesthetically they never really did anything for me. So so even though this was on my recommendations for miniature of the month, I figured a lot of other people would enjoy this miniature, just not necessarily me. So okay. Okay. So starting off with a little bit of skeleton horde there. We're gonna move quick, man. We're gonna move quick because, like I said, it's not the most inspiring miniature for me. But I'm looking. I want to get into some Malifaux. I want to paint some Malifaux. So let's get some yellow down, and I'm going to use yellow as kind of a precursor to I guess gold bordering. So we're going to make this little area here look like non-metallic gold. But yeah, not to worry, Nelson. I've got a fairly clear schedule commission-wise, and while I am going to be painting a lot of Malifaux, I will have time to work on commission stuff as well. Okay. So I got you, man. All right, and I guess I'll do a little gold studs here on this shield. I don't want him to be too bling. He's a dwarf. Dwarves like to show off what they've been mining, but not they don't want to be too garish in their gear here. Does look like you do have a little bit of a gold buckle there, and these look like they could be gold there. Anybody else working on anything tonight? I mean, it's okay. This model is okay. It's cool looking. I don't know. Just kind of biased against. I just think dwarves all kind of follow that same style that I don't consider to be necessarily um, interesting from a painting perspective. But that said, I think this thing should look pretty cool once we're done with it. Lots of weird angles though because it's just because of it's like standing. Okay. Now I gotta decide if I want his saddle to be blue or red. I'm thinking red is a lot more striking, so we'll probably go red there. And it'll kind of match an outfit like a red. Well, I could do red or I could do blue. And the advantage to doing blue is I could do the top part of that helmet blue. This would be blue. Blue's probably gonna match a little bit better. So I just talked myself into blue. All right. But yeah, anyways, it was a good evening for my wife and I. We had a went out, had a little dinner. That was about it. Um, we had uh, we had a sitter for the night, which was nice, and we it was like I paid to get my wife's hair done, so she's all prettied up on our anniversary, and and the plan was to go have dinner after that, and she got done around 6. And instead of like we were gonna drive over to Gen or Gen, however you pronounce it, the Korean style barbecue. Instead of that, we were like, you know what? I don't want to wait an hour and a half to get into Gen. Let's just have some. Let's go to Spectrum and have some Chinese over there. So we went to Capital, which is a nice little Chinese restaurant. Had one of my favorite Chinese dishes, walnut shrimp. I love honey glazed walnut shrimp. It's something that I use when I'm rating Chinese restaurants. I look to see if they have that on the menu because a lot of times it's a chef specialty. And when it's done right, when it's done right, it's absolutely awesome. When it's not done right, it's somewhat disappointing. So it's what I use to judge like whether or not I think it's a specific restaurant is a good Chinese restaurant. Just kind of weird, but I do stuff like that. Like I do, if it's a Thai restaurant, I'll judge the Thai restaurant based on the quality of the noodles that they use in the pad Thai. Um, and in the case of Chinese restaurants, one I check to see if walnut shrimp is on the menu, and then if it is, I order it, and then we just kind of judge. And Capital makes some very good walnut shrimp. My wife is generally not a fan of walnut shrimp, and she really enjoyed this one, so that says a lot about it. It wasn't our first time eating at Capital, but we hadn't been there in a while. You know what I mean? We're we have two little toddlers, so we don't always get to go out to eat these days. We were laughing about, hey, we used to just do this all the time before kids, right? It would be like a Tuesday night, and we would go have Capital. That's how it was, man. That's which is the trade off for having two awesome little boys like that is yeah, you need to save money and you don't really have time to go out and have a nice dinner, sit down, two adults and just talk about adult stuff. Well, it was good. It's our little anniversary date. So it was good stuff. I think that's I think this is blue too. So yeah, anyways, hope you guys are having good Friday nights. And you had a good day. As for me, I had a very good day. And now we're just winding down here and painting up a little dwarf. Nothing. It's not too exciting. I need to paint in the dwarf beard, which are almost always red. Dwarves are there's a lot of ginger dwarves for some reason, especially troll slayers tend to be ginger dwarfs. Right now, just getting that blue in, looking good. Now let's make ourselves an orange. If you guys have any questions or comments, let me know. As you can see, I'm painting most of the model with contrast paints because I just do that now. I'm just used to painting contrast paints now. It's like it's just a normal part of the system. And I'm like, what's going to happen when my stock runs out? I'm going to be in trouble, right? I'm going to have to go back to standard painting and things are going to slow down because it's just a little bit less efficient to do standard painting these days. Nice little vibrant ginger beard coming in there. So Nelson, we're going to paint some more Harry Potter stuff. That's cool with me. I want to see how you. I want to see if if you have any interest in playing like Aristea or something with us. CQ ran out of Black Templar. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Yeah, contrast paint's good stuff. You still have to be super accurate, though. That's the one thing I will tell you. You got to be super accurate with this kind of paint now if you really want it to work correctly. And your undercoat matters quite a bit to get the effect that you want. Look at that. It's quite a beard, though. Pretty stoked on that. That looks pretty cool. Let's do this pelt kind of a lighter color. We'll do the pelt back here. Actually, underneath the pelt, I want to do skeleton horde. And then this bear is mostly going to be snakebite leather. Oh, I got to get some blue in there. Got to get some blue in there. I wonder, should this shield be blue? Let's make blue like a big deal on this thing. Let's just do a lot of blue. The limited color palette will. I like working with limited color palettes because they keep a very sharp focus on the model. So I usually don't try to do more than say 4 or 5 colors, but the main color scheme is going to be really only 2 to 3 colors. Yeah, let's make this. Let's make this shield blue. Blue with like yellow studs on it. Because blue and yellow are, they're pretty good dwarven colors. Blue and gold, I should say. The best dwarven colors are like iron, right? All the metallics, iron, steel, silver. Those are great dwarf colors. But I want I just want a little more vibrancy out of these minis. So I just want a little more blue. Blue's a nice color. Okay. In fact, I could do these little belts here, blue. Let's do that. So again, a big strong blue theme on the model. And then so really, like as you can see, this is a lot of this is just sort of like coloring in the lines. It's about it. And then for the gloves, let's make let's do a skeleton horn. Almost picked up the new starter kit for Batman CQ. Would have cost me an arm and a leg. Oh, they CQ got the they got the Dark Knight Rises set. Oh, cool. That's cool. All right. So a little bit of a worn wood look there. And now let's do the gloves and the boots. This is going to be a much darker color, right? So we're going to go Wildwood on those. They got a bunch. Oh, awesome. Did they get a Zatanna? It's the one model I'm still very, very much interested in for Batman. I want a Zatanna. So I can use it in Malifaux. Because why not? Okay. Because he's really starting to come in. Good sharp colors on him. They had Zatanna, but someone bought it. Ah, man. They have Tetch. Nice. Bummer. I would like a Zatanna. I guess I would still wait, though. I'll wait. Maybe, with any luck, maybe they'll start getting the new stuff in more regularly and I can have a Zatanna. Maybe. That's looking pretty cool. I could do... All right. Let's do some Basilicanum Gray on the weapons. Kind of get the weapons prepped. It's turquoise. Where's my Basilicanum Gray? Oop. So this is kind of a default thing you do here. Actually, before I even do that, on the weapons and stuff, I'm going to do a white highlight, a white edge highlight, because I need edges to stand up to that Basilicanum Gray. So this is going to be a little bit of a rough highlight, but that's okay because the Basilicanum Gray will soften this up as long as I'm not like way too far off. It shouldn't be too bad. Okay. All right. Now we can Basilicanum Gray. miss? Looks like I missed an entire glove. Hold on. Okay. All right. And now we do Basilicanum Gray on the weapons and basically the chainmail and the iron. You can see that will just give us the kind of steel contrast that we're looking for. That white edge highlight will show up in certain spots and really kind of give some believability to the non-metallic look. Okay. You can see all that coming in. Hit the chainmail here. Looking pretty good. Pretty good, not too shabby. Let's do, actually want to do a little turquoise gem on his helmet here. Oh wait, I'm supposed to get this too. Gotta get that with Basilicanum Gray. There we go. All right, and then do a little bit of turquoise here on that gem. And there's one here. And there's one there. Okay, I forgot. There's I need to get wildwood right there. So quiet. So think do that. And it's time to do a little wildwood. Okay. Next up, now we want to get a little bit of like a burnished look to the gold, right? So we're going to use, since we're sticking with contrast paint, I'm going to use something interesting here. I'm going to use Guilliman Flesh. I'm using a skin tone on the gold, which will give us a slightly burnished look to the gold. A little harder to tell based on the size of the objects that I'm doing. So it's a much more subtle effect, but it gives that gold some depth. Whoa. Okay. Getting there, right? I joined you guys for Ars Day, but you barely have time. Yeah, I understand, dude. It's all good. I think you should, just because it's fun. I do have, like I said, I do have a spare set of just Aristea stuff, or minis at least. If you wanted to try it and run around with your own Aristea team. Okay, let us get on with the main event here. And we're going to do the majority of this model, which is Snakebite Leather. I think I want to switch brushes too. I don't think I want to use this nice brush for this. This is more coarse work. So I need not that one. I need this guy, my workhorse Blick 1. Actually, not even this. I should probably use a bigger, well, it's fine. Yeah, let's use a bigger brush. Let's use our Winsor Newton number 2. It's a nice big brush. And then I promise you, as we're finishing up this guy, oh gosh, what happened to this brush? Uh-oh, did I get glue on this brush? That is supremely gonna suck if I can't get this brush clean. Looks like I ruined this brush somehow. I'm not really sure how. Well, I got it. All right. All right, back to this. Good old Snakebite Leather. My one criticism, if anything, with this type of contrast paint is that it almost leaves too even of a finish in scenarios like this, where you want that fur to look a little more mottled, right? It should look a little more random in terms of where the tones are all going. This is a little too perfect. This is like illustration perfect. We do not want illustration perfect here. We want organic looking. Like, it really does look nice. I wish I cared more, but I'm just, this is just for the miniature of the month. And I don't know. Whoa. This miniature is just okay to me. It's not, I don't see this as being necessarily like groundbreaking. It's a dwarf on a bear. I get that that's cool, but it doesn't, it's not taking me to new heights, if you know what I mean. Hey, what's up, Sean? Welcome to the feed. Just painting up some mini of the month here. And then we'll paint up some Malifaux as well, and we can start talking about Malifaux. We could start talking about Malifaux as well. You can see there's still quite a bit of detail and stuff you can pick out even after these contrast paints dry. Right? It gets you to tabletop standard, but not far beyond that, really. And you kind of add some of your own tools and techniques to the mix. And that's where contrast paints can work really well for experienced painters. Scary outfit. I mean, it is looking very done. I don't know. Maybe the pelt needs to be white. Let's do the pelt with the skeleton horde, and then I'll highlight it with white. Yeah, it's just gonna need highlights. Once you get the bases down, you're just gonna need highlights. I nearly did like a big old diorama around this thing, but like I said, I got super into Malifaux shit, and I was like, okay. It always happens with the mini of the month. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do cool stuff with this one this month, and then commissions come in, or I get excited about another game or whatever, and I'm like, man, I don't need to do too much on this. Okay. So I'll let that dry for a minute. And now we're going to start doing, we'll start doing some highlights. Actually, what I really need to do before we go too far into this is I need to paint the base. And this is just going to be standard paints. Okay. Just regular ass paints this time. No contrast paints. This is a super boring base, but we'll give it a little bit of character, right? So it's going over some pumice texture here. We'll give it a little bit of character. Speaking of which, I got to do something. We got to take a quick break from this guy and move on to some other Malifaux minis for real quick. Let's just get that green base coat down, right? Get that down. All right. So what I need to do, let me show you guys what's up. So these soulstone miners are cool, but you can see the way they attach to bases is just like you just basically glue it right on top. And I think that kind of sucks. So we're going to put a little bit of texture down around the edges just to kind of give that illusion of, you know, this soulstone miner popping up through through the base here, right? So all I really need to do is blend this edge here with pumice, right? I'm almost out of pumice, and it's terrifying because this is such a good little product to help your basing. Love this stuff. I can't believe I'm already through a tub of it, but it's good stuff. And you just use it to, you can use it to make all kinds of texture. You can make texture earth, you can make water. Like if you wanted to do like choppy waves, I've used it to do that kind of stuff. I've used it to use, you know, for landscapes, small landscapes. Hey, what's up, Nathan? This is a Vallejo product called Gray Pumice. And just put that. See, and it's just going to blend that and make it look like the miner popped through the surface there. I'll let that dry. It's actually pretty good timing because I'm waiting for paint to dry on my little dwarf. And you can be fairly sloppy with this stuff too. It cleans up pretty easy when you need it to. And then when it does finally dry, it's nice and sturdy. Takes a while to dry. That said, I've never really let this stuff being wet hamper me too much when I'm painting. Like it is possible to like do this and then try to paint this model later tonight. Which is probably something I will do. The only thing I need to do is I need to reprime. That's the soil part there. So I will prime this directly. But let's first things first, I gotta finish the dwarf. Here, so you just blend that in. Okay, now let that dry. And yeah, time to come back in, do a little highlighting on Mr. Dorf. Steven Dorf. Ha ha. Okay. So I want the pelt back here to have a little bit of white on it. So we're just going to highlight it real quick. Oh, it's still wet. That's not going to work. Let's not highlight it yet. Wait. I can highlight the weapon. So let's do that. I want to highlight the edges of the weapon. Just to kind of draw the user interest there. Nice sharp line there. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake there. You roll with it. There we go. I was going to stick like a Chinese style rider on one of these and paint it as a panda and have them jousting. Dwarf on bear versus panda. I think that would have been kind of cool. But like I said, I got too lazy and I found like my Malifaux stuff to paint. And I was like, let's paint that. Oh shit, this is due tomorrow. We gotta do something. So that is why we are painting this right now. And not yet Malifaux shit. Okay. Kuma would win. I agree. I think Panda would rock the shit out of this guy. But my Asian writer is in this drawer right here, and I can't find him. He hid from me. How dare you? All right. So we'll do that. We'll highlight, edge highlight there on the shield. Again, we're just drawing people's eyes around. All right. Now I need to do a gold highlight on the gold bits. This guy did move very quick, didn't it? was a very, very quick paint job. I don't even know if I'll have time to highlight the fur because it's still drying. You know, little tiny, tiny little highlights everywhere. There we go. Tiny little highlights. That's all you need. Embroidering on the saddle. I'm not sure why the saddle looks like a magic carpet. Maybe the bear is not the most willing participant. Like maybe this dwarf really um managed to get a hold of a super powerful magic carpet. Um and the magic carpet it strapped itself around the bear here. and, and the magic carpet is really the rider of the bear, and the dwarf is the rider of the magic carpet. So this poor bear is being abused by a magical inanimate object, and the dwarf is abusing that inanimate object. It's pretty shitty. It's pretty the 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 carpet is tired of flying around, and it enslaved a bear. And this bear is not attacking. This bear is it's throwing up its hands in frustration. Why me? What did I do? That's what that's what's going on here. We figured it out. It has nothing to do with dwarves. This dwarf he doesn't even really want to ride the bear. He's not interested in the bear. He wants to fly. Because given the choice, okay, riding a bear is cool. I get that. But this dwarf really wants the carpet to get up and fly. So he's trying to ride the carpet. Whereas the bear is the hapless victim of this carpet. This shitty, evil carpet. Yeah, we're gonna give him a wintry pelt. I am going to. I can't really see anything down in here, but I'm gonna put a little blue and a little bit of yellow down there, just so some dumbass decides to look down there. He didn't get it, didn't paint it all. They'll see. They'll at least see color. The illusion that I painted it all is what they'll get. I don't think I really need to dry brush this fur much. I need to do it a little bit towards the tops of the top of the model, but it's going to be pretty simple. All right. So I need a color like this is a good color. Bronze skin, good color. Why is it a good color? Because it was right in front of me, and I'm lying. It. I didn't mean to pick that color, but it's gonna look great. You'll see. Just trust the process. Right? We're just making this shit up as we go along. That's what we do. You guys should know that by now. We're just making this shit up. So most of this highlight, it's really kind of an overbrush that we're applying towards the top. And you don't want to overdo this or your bear looks, what's the word? If you overdo the highlight like towards a white, then the bear looks pretty bad. And you just really want to subtly overbrush stuff in just to kind of draw people around to the face of the bear, the top of the bear. That's all you're trying to do. There's like almost no highlighting that's going to happen down there, down this area. But I'm going to make slightly higher highlight. And like I said, we're just going to real subtle. See that? You don't want to make like eyebrows there. But all I'm trying to do is draw your attention to the face of the bear without covering up too much. So things like the edges of the ears are good. Tops of the cheeks, also good. But you want to just limit your highlight there. Okay. Let's paint in some earth tones. I know this isn't the most awe-inspiring miniature, but it's okay. It does the job, right? So now we're gonna just blend in some earth around here, right? Just break up this base a little bit. You don't want it to be 100% green. We'll just let that dry for a minute. Actually, what I should do right now while we're waiting for that to dry is I'll paint this area here black. See? And just like that, we're done. When did this feed start? Started around 45 minutes ago. There we go. There, miniature of the month. We're basically done. We're not entirely done, but we're basically done. I'm going to put some plants. We're going to put some tufts down by this bear. Yeah. Look, if you look, that's definitely not a saddle, right? He's riding the magic carpet who is riding the bear. And this is also why lipped bases are better. When you paint the black in on the lipped base, it really does like suddenly the whole model comes into focus. Super cool. Super cool. You know, hey, that's not bad for 45 minutes worth of work. Let's roll. We got other shit to do, man. We're busy. We're busy. Let's I'm gonna paint me a spider. We're gonna paint these guys here, which I guess are mostly gonna be like the non-metallic gold. I gotta decide. Maybe the head here and around this area, the main carapace will be non-metallic gold, and the rest of it will be silver. Hold on. Let's just try some shit. Right? Let's make the face gold. And then do something like that. We're just making it up, folks. You're not following the box art, man. You're not. I don't even know what's true anymore. All right, so do that. Right, we're broke. We left the box art. I sit on a throne of lies. We're just gonna get a little bit of variety into this, right? Into these little arachnids. Think, and then I guess this whole bit here will also be gold carapace. So we'll do all the like construct stuff. Hoping to try out some M3E here pretty soon. What else? I guess that can be gold. Just deciding what else can be gold. That can be gold. That can be gold. Yeah. Let's make that gold. Why not? Okie doke. Are you painting anything right now, Sean? What are you painting, man? I know you're painting something. I just don't. Why did I? Oh, well. Now it's 2 gold. Damn it. Now it's close to box art. Okay. Let's do the dumb one that stands up. Rawr, this one. This one will clearly fall off the base any second now. Oh, you finished your last Aristea box. Cool. Well, hey, let's show you what's in the Malifaux box that we are going to split. Let's do that. Ah! First off, though, let's finish painting some gold on these. I'm ready to get the drunk crew. These were some of the worst plastic kits to put together. The large steampunk arachnid was already an excruciatingly difficult thing to put together in metal, and then it's just ever so slightly easier to put together the plastic one, but it's still not great. That was my computer threatening to shut down. They said I was talking shit. Yeah, it's only slightly. The metal steampunk arachnid is the stuff of nightmares. And I think I'd built like somewhere between 4 and 6 of them and hated it. Okay. Anything else gold? I think that's it. That's all the gold on those two. Yeah, I had a big Arcanist collection back. Oh shit. I gotta prime those. Hold on. Hold on. Quick prime. Quick prime, guys. Something tells me I'm going too fast. All right. There's no deadline to get these done tonight. The deadline was on the dwarf. But let's get some primer down on that. All right, let's just get some primer down on it. Maybe I'll paint the Soulstone Miners tomorrow night. Yeah, let's paint some other shit tonight. All right. This is going to require a lot of Basilicanum Gray. Shit, maybe too much Basilicanum Gray. Hope not. All right. I also have to paint the human-faced evil baby thing called the Eternal Flame. So let's start by just doing that. This thing is pretty much going to be just steel and fire. Steel and fire. It has all kinds of just weird burning bits. The Eternal Flame. Crom. There we go. Let's do. This is what the hell is that? This is Karis's totem for Malifaux. Well, we got the yellow. Well, hold on. I'm gonna take a 2-second break because I want to show you this. Yeah, you're talking about the Bengal song. Is this burning an eternal flame? Yes. Yes. Okay. Let's do a little unboxing. Unboxing. People like watching that shit. But this is a good unboxing because this is Sean's stuff that he split with me. We're gonna let this thing dry. Blah. Okay. Okay. It's too big to fit on screen. But here it is, Malifaux Backdraft. Okay. And here's, whoa, well, I gotta move my palette. And we'll move a couple, we'll just move a bunch of shit out of the way. Okay. Well, cannot fit. Go. Okay. I'll pan up a little bit. All right, so here's what it comes with, this set. So you're getting 4 Gremlin models, Popcorn Turner, Cooper Jones, and 2 Whiskey Gammon. So these are the 2 Whiskey Gammon, and one of these is Popcorn Turner, and the other one is Whiskey Jones. Which look awesome. They're like riding barrels, and this guy's he's got his whiskey. They're basically, he's riding a whiskey barrel. This guy here is shooting fire out of a whiskey barrel. And then I'm getting these 4 Arcanist models. So I get a fire golem out of it, and these 3 things. 2 of them are saboteurs, and one of them is Joshua Fitzsimmons. Let's have a look. Let's look. Let's open it. All right. It's a lot of. It's all in one big old mammer jammer package here. It's a nice little bit of foam. Okay. So it comes on 2 gigantic sprues. So I'm going to have to cut my stuff loose. This entire sprue here looks like the fire golem, this whole thing. So fire golem looking pretty big. And then I think I'm overcharging you, Sean. I think let's renegotiate our price, because your stuff isn't quite, you're getting 4 minis out of it, but they're a lot smaller, it looks like, than what I'm getting. So this sprue here is your Whiskey Gammon, and then this sprue here is the Popcorn Cooper Jones and Popcorn Turner. So it looks like Cooper Jones is the one that fires the flame, and Popcorn Turner is the one that does the other thing. So here's what I'm going to do. Yeah, well, I'm getting a lot more. Even though we're both getting 4 models, I didn't realize that the 4 models I'm getting are, well, at least the golem is much bigger than what you're getting. So I don't think it's fair for you to pay what I mentioned for your set, because it's really, that's it. You're just getting this sprue worth of stuff, which is 4 models, but it's less than what I'm getting. So anywho, I'm just trying to keep it fair. Let's see. And we'll give you the encounter book. These are the M2E cards. You don't really need them, but I'll throw them in there. So I'm going to throw this all back in the box for you. And I'm going to make sure you have your bases. So it's probably, looks like everything in this set is on a 30 mil except for the golem. So we'll put the golem out. And oh, weird. Look at these bases. They're like deep well bases. That's a little annoying, actually, because that's a bitch to stamp. That kind of sucks. All right, so I get those 3, and you're getting these 4. Put those in there. That golem looks gigantic. Yeah, deep well bases are kind of a pain. But Shit, I'm half tempted to build. Should I build? Let's paint some robots first. Let's paint a couple of these arachnids first before I build. Then we can then we'll build. Actually, fuck. I think I have to stamp first if I'm gonna build. We're gonna stamp real quick. So I'll show you guys how we stamp. We'll stamp these 4 bases. We got to make some putty. This is where your experience kind of kicks in, how much putty you need for 4 bases. I tend to overshoot. Yeah, this is going to overshoot a bit. This will overshoot a little. So we'll go like that. And you need these. You need the epoxy and the hardener to be about the same size there. You can see I measured that out scientifically, and then you mush it all together. So much stuff, man. Why did I buy so much stuff in such a short period of time? Because I am psychotic, and when I want to play something and try it, then I totally want to try it. That's why. That's why. All right, so you mix this up real good. You may feel some of these cases, some of these putties are exothermic, so you'll feel a little bit of a warm reaction. What's up, Canvas? All right. So it looks like that is going to go there, like so. And that gives me, well, I way overshot. Whoops. I made me a bunch, man. Whoops. I should stamp some other bases. I don't want to, but shit. Shit. I don't want to have to build. Oh my god, yeah, I'm like way overshot. Oops. All right. Wow. I could almost like stamp a whole other set here. Anyways, let's get this going. You spread this sucker out like that. Now this stuff takes a while to set, so we're just going to stamp them and then go back to painting the 2 spiders, and then we'll build. And by the time we're done with all of that, these will be firm, or they'll be firm enough to, to glue something on top of and not totally ruin. And you want to get the edges pretty clean looking, so that when you stamp them, it still looks pretty clean, right? You'll have a nice good border there. I said border. Okay. There we go. And these are, yeah, I've never seen this style before, where it's kind of like a deep well base. It's weird. Actually, the closest I've seen is Wrath of Kings. They make deep well, like round bases like that, where they design their minis to be, you glue them in on the pegs, and then you fill in the ground medium in between the peg and the base. And it was a cool idea, but nobody did that, so that idea stopped immediately. But I still think I think all the Wrath of Kings kits still have that weird style base to it. The problem here is you can see how deep that well is. Like these are not going to stamp. They're not going to stamp well because you can't get a great imprint like that. Okay. But we'll stamp these real quick. How's everybody else doing tonight? Anybody else painting or building or stamping? We don't really want to know what Canvas is doing. Guaranteed, no one wants to see that, Canvas. You need to stop. Okay? Google is watching you. You can't do that. Hey, what's up, Atomico? Oh, you watch after. What's up, man? Hope you're doing well, dude. That's our old school dude right there. Atomico. Speaking of which, man, I got into a mild argument at work the other day. We were talking about, because me and another guy were talking about Stranger Things, and he's like, yeah, really like Stranger Things, blah 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 blah. And I was like, yeah, it's all right. Like Stranger Things is okay, but I feel like Stranger Things is I feel like it, as with a lot of entertainment these days, is they just try to like get you to ooh and ah with over the nostalgia, quote unquote, and then just pass something off, right? Like, oh, you remember that, you love that, and um, they kind of cash in on that. Stranger Things is not alone in that. I mean, there was a whole movie called Ready Player One, which was basically just nostalgia the movie. But that's the idea now, right? You remember this, you love this, this was your thing. And you have this generation of people that like love the shit that you grow up with, but it's sort of like it just comes from the weirdest place. Like I got into it with somebody because I was saying, well, that's what Stranger Things is in a nutshell. It's basically X Files, but they keep your heart on with the nostalgia shit. And a lot of the people watching weren't fucking alive at that point. So I'm like, that's not. If you're a millennial and you're saying the nostalgia for shit that playing D&D in the 80s and riding around on bikes and all that stuff, dude, you weren't alive at that point. Like some of us, we were there. And guess what? Ghostbusters, while popular, was not. They didn't make like full-blown kid costumes out of it. Okay, that wasn't a thing. What the hell? Like, and I know it sounds like the smallest thing, but it's the idea that the nostalgia isn't really nostalgia. It's basically fetishizing the 80s and that to kind of just, I don't know, to just kind of sway you emotionally to like shit. That's what it is. And I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world, but when I call people on it, they get super mad at me. What do you mean? Like, yeah, the stories in Stranger Things, they're not necessarily novel stories. They're not really new. They're not like breaking new ground with that. It's just it's a what I would say is like it's a decent story that really kind of hooks you with the nostalgia, with the whole idea of the nostalgias, you know. That's all I mean. That's all I'm saying. It's like, oh, I remember the, and people talk shit like, oh, I was so into that. I was so into Jason the Wheeled Warriors. Like, bitch, you weren't even alive when Jason the Wheeled Warriors was around, man. Yeah, playing D&D in the 80s would get you you would get your ass beat. I know this because I played D&D in the 5th grade. We played D&D at recess in San Bernardino, um, and we were mocked. We were derided for that kind of shit. And for people to say, "Oh yeah, I'm such a nerd. I play D&D." I'm like, "No, you're not. No, you're not. Just stop, okay? You you didn't get chased by fucking people down the street because, or you had the derision from other kids. You had the adults judging you that you were a devil worshiper. Um, people on TV, corporate media would go on and say, this stuff is terrible for children. No one should be playing Dungeons and Dragons. What the kind of shit is that?" And if you don't believe me, like, go watch Mazes and Monsters with Tom Hanks. Go, like, watch that shit. Yeah, it's the nostalgia. Even if explained it. No, man, that movie is like a negative statement about D&D. And people are like, "Oh, it's a movie about D&D with groundbreaking." No, man, they were fucking talking shit about D&D. They did not like D&D, okay? Stop. Just stop. Anyway. Oh gosh, being a nerd in the 80s. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and I told my wife this, is that nerd was not nerd was a term that had to be claimed because it was a derogatory term thrown at us. That was not it was not cool to be a nerd. It was horrible to be a nerd. People thought you were evil or psychotic or just something was inherently wrong with you. Um, if you earn the moniker of nerd in the 80s, that's how it was. And I tell people all the time, but I distinctly remember when the term, during the early 90s and mid 90s, we'd claimed nerddom. And we're like, okay, yeah, I'm a fucking nerd. I'm a freak. I play D&D and I paint this kind of shit and all this. And then in like late 90s, early 2000s, that's when it turned. That's when you know the hips, the bros, you know the tribal armband tattoo bros started calling themselves nerds because they played uh you know because they played FPS games. They played first person shooters. Like, I play video games and I'm 31. I'm such a nerd. I play Call of Duty. I'm such a nerd. And the actual nerds are like, "Man, what the fuck are you talking about? You don't know. You're not." But anyways, I digress. The term no longer applies. The term no longer applies to us anymore because it was co-opted, and it's fine. It was co-opted. It's just no longer. We just need to recognize that today's nerd isn't. They're not an early adopter. They're not an original thinker. They're a follower. They they suck the juices of established franchises. They stay safe. They're told what to like and what not to like to be a nerd. It's it's the complete opposite of what it was, back in the older generation. It's the opposite. I was gonna say something really terrible, Sean, but I guess I probably should have just said the terrible thing because the juices sounds sounds even worse. Yeah, it was not good. But I mean, just bear that in mind. The term nerd, when people go, "I'm such a nerd," today, what they're really trying to say is, "I have personality." That's what they're trying to say. They're trying to say, "I'm interesting because I fucking like Star Wars." People think they hang their hat on that. They think that somehow that you like something that millions of other people like, that suddenly that makes you somebody. What the? Like what are you talking about? It make if you want to like be somebody, or if a statement about your individuality, the last thing would be like, oh, I like something by Disney. That's the that is the least original thing you could say about yourself would be, yeah, I like all the Disney. These days, it's far more, I would say it's far more counterculture to be like, no, Star Wars is a creatively bankrupt franchise that's boring as shit and it needs to stop. Like that's the you can't do that. That'll draw the ire of people online. They'll call you a nerd. Well, they don't call you nerd anymore. I guess the term now is man baby. You're a man baby. You don't like Star Wars? You're a man baby. You see those? There was like a T-shirt that's like, if you're a nerd, you have to like these things, and it was like Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, and Firefly. You have to like those things. I was like, wow, that is the exact opposite of what that used to be, man. There were no nerds walking around in the 80s. They would argue about shit. Don't get me wrong. Nerds would argue about shit all the time, you know, which version of X superhero was actually the coolest one, who was the good guy or the bad guy in this series. They would argue with that kind of shit all the time. But it was never, the whole thing about being a nerd back then was you were you weren't asked, or you weren't told what to like to be in the club. The fact that you were kicked out, the fact that you were chased down the street, um, the fact that you were outcast from the mainstream automatically made you one of us, no matter what you were into. And as much as we would argue with each other, the only people we hated more were the freaking normies that would tell us that we were losers and devil worshippers and burnouts and um, you know uh, pathetic and all this other shit that they all the other stuff that they threw at us. That's the that's really what it was like. um, and you liked you liked what you liked, and you found other people that liked it too, and a lot of times those other people were different than you. They were different than you in a lot of ways. And I'll tell you this. I was a rough kid from the side of the town that adopted, befriended by a group of nerds for protection. Yeah, you bro. Well, here's the thing. Like, somebody like Atomico, right? His background, he that's not somebody that you would think would become the stereotypical nerd of the 80s. The nerd of the 80s was generally considered somebody unathletic, like pencil neck, that kind of thing. Um, just completely poor social skills, and there wasn't nerds. They weren't they weren't really looked at as being like, oh, like urban, that kind of thing. But that's not the truth. There were people like Atomico. There were lots of other people that liked what they liked, and they were from various backgrounds. It was one of the things that, me personally, always feeling like an outsider around most people. It was one of the things that kind of united me with a bunch of other people that I wouldn't normally, choose to kind of align myself with, just because you don't really. you don't know everybody, right? So I don't know. It's just interesting to me that that term, when people claim the term now, but before you didn't have a choice. That's just what you were called. I'm such a mixed bag. You grew up in Japan. Nice. Yeah, I mean, people grew up like, for me, like I said, from immigrant parents, and when I was an adolescent, what spoke to me was hip hop, was original, because this is when hip hop was really starting to define itself as an art form. It was a form of rebellion, the way that punk was when punk music came out, uh, in the 70s, in the 70s and 80s. You had punk culture, and hip hop was like the defining, basically the defiant part of music culture in our day. And I remind people like that hip hop was the last American music genre slash art form, in modern history. It's the last one. There haven't been We haven't created another like full genre of music. When you think about the American contribution to music, starting um, from jazz to rock and roll to and then to hip hop, you're like, okay, those all came from the African American communities. Those all came from, um, you know, th- from I guess, using the modern terms, like marginalized, and the minority subsets of society. And so, in a lot of ways, it was anthemic to people, and people like me, which have very little in common with your typical hip hop artist of the 80s, but they still spoke to me in that sense, because they were, it was rebellious in nature, and it had, at least at first, it had a lot of stuff to say. And while I didn't directly relate to, like the Furious Five and what they say about urban culture, I could still understand their lament, right? You could still understand them conveying the plight, and because, in my case, because you were also like other, you were considered other at the time, that you had kind of a kinship with it, and it made sense, right? Yeah, like it resonated with you. But anyways, I don't think I had a specific point there. We're just talking, but yeah, like it's weird to me when people say, "Oh, they proclaim nerd because that they're hoping somehow that it endears them to whoever they're talking to." And I was like, that just wasn't the case before. People would go, I'm a nerd, or I'm a spaz, or I'm a dweeb. It wasn't y- it, and I'm not saying it was better when you couldn't proclaim it with pride. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is, it's there was a point at which saying it defiantly meant that you were claiming it back, but that point is not now, right? It just doesn't apply anymore. Anyway, just don't mind me. I'm just painting my spider robots. Man, these things are pretty awesome too. They're pretty cool in game. Um, I've been playing these since first edition. Maybe you should use the word eclectic is good. Yeah. Okay. Let's, since there's so much like steel and metallic on these, I just, oh shoot, I think that was supposed to be. A Bernie Burns. A Bernie Flames. But these will look cool nonetheless. I mean, bottom line, you call yourself whatever you like, right? I get that. But yeah, it's just weird. I don't know. That's why I don't tell people anymore. I'm like I don't think I'm a nerd anymore. Like it's too complimentary these days. People don't the quote unquote nerds of today hate what I have to say about all about most shit. They hate it. They hate my opinions on stuff, on a lot of the stuff that they love. Because it's just different. Doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just different. Get a different take on it. Been down a different road. Or, or as I was explaining to like a GW player the other day, it's like it's not that it's bad, it's just I've been there before and I'm no longer interested in it. That's all. Like you don't have to take it personally that I don't like your game. That's another one I don't quite understand. Like why is that a personal slight if I don't like your game? Do I get do I take it personal if you don't like my favorite games? I don't no. It just means I don't want to. If you don't like it, then it means I don't want to game with you because that's the game I want to play. That's all. It's not a big thing. It's not like this giant doesn't say anything about you as a person. Like why do we need all this shit to validate us? Doesn't make you more or less virtuous. Like what whether or not you thought Avengers was a good movie franchise. No, none of that matters, guy. It's not a thing. Calm the F down. You'll be all right. This is one of the strangest models I think I've ever painted. And you guys watched this. Like you've watched me paint some really strange shit over the years. But a crab person, burning face human thing with stupidly bent elbows is not. Wow. And my wife and I, you know, like I said, for our little dinner, we got into a we got into a rant at the end of the night because here we go. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, and it's gonna might upset a couple of people watching, but I don't think I don't think them like Star Wars girls, the Jyn Ersos and the Daisy Ridleys. I don't think they're hot. I don't. I don't think they're hot. In fact, my point, the point I was making to my wife was that, and you take this for what you want, but these two actresses and their and whatever you want to say about their portrayals, there's no if you start talking about they're hot or not or anything like that, they don't they don't have any uh they don't put out any sort of sexual um I'm struggling for the word here, but they just don't put it out there. You know what I mean? They just don't. Take it as a compliment, take it as an insult. You could doesn't I don't know, whatever you want to say. It, they don't you look at there's certain actresses that absolutely do that, right? Look at Scarlett Johansson, look at Gal Gadot, right? These are kind of the, more glamorous women that just naturally sort of exude that energy. And it's you'd be lying to say that you don't I pick up on it, right? At least I do. And so I'm like, these girls that are in the Star Wars movies, they just kind of run through their role. Like I do this and I save and we do the thing. And like at no point is it, and it that's probably intentional that they don't that it's not really even germane to the story. It's not even important to the story whether or not they are. But I'm just saying that it's not a factor. And with the way the way that this whole role is carried out, it's not even an aspect. But it's the shame there is that it doesn't, in my opinion, um, it you miss out on aspects of a character, in my opinion. Not that Star Wars ever does like these real deep character dives into anything, into their characters. Because even when they did the trilogy, which was supposed to be a character study or deconstruction of Darth Vader, that was pretty shitty. Like they didn't, you didn't really, and, and blame the actor all you want, but you never really hit the beats of kind of coming to terms with who Anakin Skywalker was. So I don't know. They just, it seems like characterization these days is just missing. Like we're missing those parts. We were talking about female leads in Hollywood and that kind of stuff. And if you look at one of the examples that came up was Linda Hamilton, right? Linda Hamilton from the Terminator series. And I pointed out, like, okay, there are people that think that Linda Hamilton's hot. There are other people that think that she's, not for whatever reason. Maybe she comes off as too masculine or whatever, or whatever. She's just not their type. But here's the thing: whether or not you think she's hot or not, the character still, if you look at the original Terminator, the character still had an aspect of, sexuality and caring and that kind of stuff. And it helped the audience kind of sympathize with her. Like, yeah, she's on the run, she's terrified and blah blah blah. But they're gonna have this scene in here with where she's fallen in love with Kyle Reese, and it kind of helps humanize both characters. And they try to do it in Star Wars, like they're trying to do the Raylo shipping or whatever the fuck they call it these days, shipping. Like I don't understand how they could simultaneously make a big deal out of shipping, yet entirely miss the part about sexual chemistry and compatibility. They, I don't understand. I don't understand. They can't do that anymore in modern films. They don't. It's like they just, the writers or something, and just have completely forgot what it means to have a human to human relationship. They don't even like characterize friendships properly on these in these films anymore, which is weird. It's like they just drop two characters on screen and you're just supposed to expect that they're best friends all of a sudden. Like, oh, this is a person and this is a person, and suddenly the best friends because we wrote it 3 seconds into the script, and you're like, you can see when two actors are given roles that actually allow them to kind of interface with one another and develop various types of relationships, platonic friendships, sexual relationships, that kind of stuff. You can see it. Sometimes it happens naturally, and sometimes it just won't happen at all. Case in point, Game of Thrones, right? You just sometimes it's just not gonna. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen between Jon and Daenerys. It just wasn't. Those two actors were buddies, and they don't have. It's creepy to them. They don't have chemistry. Meanwhile, Jon Snow and the Egret character, yeah, they totally had chemistry because the two actors happened to, you know, really have chemistry with one another. So that worked. But that wasn't written in. Something the actors were, they were, obviously the writers had these two pegged for one another, but the actors were good enough and were able to make their actual chemistry show up in their relationship, and everybody loved it. But it's like these days with the major productions, it's just they just don't know how to do that kind of stuff anymore. And I don't know if it's I truly don't know if it's the actors at fault or the writers or the directors, but it just seems weird. People can't make best friends anymore, and they can't have people in love anymore. I don't know. Weird, weird. It's I yeah. It just makes me sad. It makes me sad because you just don't see, especially with the push to let's have more female characters on screen and whatever. I feel like that sort of pandering was actually, I think it's detrimental because the whole you're not really seeing with some of these previous characters like your Ellen Ripley's and your and and the Terminator character and that kind of stuff. You see their struggle, you see them facing these supernatural occurrences and these horrifying events and all this stuff and having to fight their way through it and for everything. But you also still see it's also still very apparent and very central to the character that they suffer, they still bring a feminine side to what's going on around them. Ripley in her case, it's sort of the that create that mothering instinct and what it gave her the courage to face what was the most terrifying thing in her entire life, the aliens, and to go into the queen's den and face off with the queen alien for what is effectively her quote unquote child, right? And you still have those scenes where they go through stuff like this before they'll go through this kind of stuff, this harrowing shit, and you root for them and you root for them, and they still at the end of it, they still break down, they still show you that vulnerability, they still show you actual fear and struggle and all this kind of stuff. And it's like we don't even allow the characters to do that anymore. Not the female characters, not the minority characters. They're not they're too stalwart. They're robotic. They don't have uh they just won't allow them that space. They won't allow them to uh to humanize because they're afraid, like, oh, we don't want to. It's extremely patronizing. It's like, we don't want to show you actually struggle. We just want you to win and win and win because you're the best. Yay! Like that. It's really, ooh. Like, I watch shit like that and I'm like, are you sure that's uplifting? Seems kind of patronizing. Like, seems like the same kind of shit you do for your toddler. Like when you want your toddler to feel good about themselves, you know, you won. You deal out the Uno cards and you let them win Uno. Yay! Aren't you great? You're so good. And it's more about getting some confidence and some self esteem in them. But it's also like for fully grown, fully formed humans, that shit is patronizing as shit, right? Like, imagine if I did that to you on some shit like that. Like, oh, let's go play some Guild Ball. And then I like lay down there and I play poorly and just watch you kick a goal and like, yeah, you're the best. Like, think about how fucking infantilizing that would be. And I don't understand why we still allow that shit to happen and think, oh yeah, it was so empowering. It was so, yeah. But you never get a character out of it. You don't even know half the time why you should be rooting for the people on screen. They don't even set things up correctly anymore. It's just sort of like, these are the good guys, these are the bad guys, and they just tell you who to root for. Not because you really get to see that case built. They just straight up telling you who the good guys and who the bad guys are, and you're just supposed to accept it. The terrifying thing to me is a lot of people just fucking accept it. That scares me. That scares me, right? To me, that is the true zombie apocalypse that I've been afraid of my entire life is where we get to a point where people will literally accept anything that a large entity, whether it be a large corporation or a government or something, will say to you. That you'll just wholesale accept it on its face, and at no point you will question it. And then to take it a step further, not only uh, do you accept it, but you are ready to break your own moral code to destroy people that don't accept it, right? The whole, oh, well, I don't like Nazis. If I call you a Nazi, that makes you a Nazi. So punch a Nazi. It's like that whole line of reasoning that leads you down the the path of, okay, I get to deperson somebody because I have the moral high ground, right? That's nothing new. I feel like I want to tell people that get on their moral high horse shit. I'm like, you do understand that before you cornered the market on morality, your parents cornered the market on morality, and they did the same shit you are doing right now, shutting other people down, um, enforcing their will on others, depersoning people with the tools they had available. They do this. They did the same shit you're doing. You're nothing new. You're not revolutionary, and you're absolutely not a moral guardian of anything. Um, and it's terrifying to me. Long live the empire. All right. So believe it or not, these things are. I mean, that's table ready. I just have to. But we'll highlight the gold a little bit, kind of bring the gold out. I need a super, super light color. Actually, there is a specific color I need. Right? That is it. I could use this. I could use ice yellow. Oh God, is it really already 11? Shit. Okay, hold on. Oh man, I got 4 models to build, and one of them is freaking gigantic. Okay. So, just doing. I could go back and just do a bunch of this, right? And again, when you're going to highlight stuff like that, you concentrate most of it around the face, the front of the model, and the top of the model, and then dial it back as you go back. As you can see, what that does is that helps sell the non-metallic illusion. This little line right here, right? It's that little bit right there sells the idea that there's a metallic here, but it's not. Anyway, that's what we're doing, man. Well, let's just whip through these real quick, and then we'll start to build. This can be embarrassing building Malifaux shit on camera because their builds can get intricate at times. It's not the easiest thing. Just like this bug, I kind of screwed up when I built it. Not kind of, I did screw up when I built it. We just kind of We're just kind of making that work. Right. I'm just gonna do a couple spots here and there. Okay. And we're also gonna paint. And I haven't been the most consistent when it comes to what color the base should be. I like this midnight blue though. I think this is gonna be where it's at. Midnight blue, or should I go? Ooh, that's kind of nice. Night blue is kind of nice. Let's just go night blue. And we'll get some of this down. Now, a color like this, you may have to paint 2 coats to make sure it covers properly. Yeah, probably. That's actually, this is a bit of a brighter blue than I wanted. 2 coats will fix that though. 2 coats will look okay. Maybe it should have been midnight blue, but oh well. Really just something to, so we know these are Arcanist miniatures. Black usually looks a lot cleaner. Okay. But we'll have to, I just have to paint 2 coats. Could be 3 because this stuff is not covering. Any questions or anything so far, folks? Okay. So much stuff to do. Working on too many models at the same time. I have to glue the tuft on that dwarf miniature. Let's find some plants to include. Just check out the painting. Cool. Well, I'm glad you tuned in, man. Appreciate it. You know, this is just quick stuff to get on the board, right? Malifaux, you're going to have models that paint super quick, and then you're going to have much more intricate designs that are going to take you a while. So I need to double coat this guy. Oh, thanks. Thank you, sir. Looking forward to trying out 3rd edition. I think I will be pleasantly surprised. I think I'm going to like it, if I'm being honest with you. And maybe I only like it for like a dozen games. Still worth it. Still worth it to have, you know, to be able to put together cool crews and all that kind of stuff. All right. Real quick, before we go on to building, we got to get this guy back on. Mr. Dorf that we've been watching. Should you try to find your Rasputina crew? If you want to play, you're going to have to, I will tell you right now, you will have to buy shit to add to it. Probably. I don't even know, like, what did you have for your Rasputina crew? I guess that's probably what I should ask. What did you have? Let's just put like a big ass thing of flowers. Trying to cover the fact that I sawed the toes off this burr. There. You can't really see the toes. It's like stepping in that floral thing. Ah, screw you. Okay. So there, let's do that. Now, let's build this thing, of which I don't have any instructions in front of me. So this is gonna be very interesting. Let's just fumble around and make it. That's always the right way to do this, right? Wow, these, that's a lot of, what the hell? When starter box, when to go, can't remember. Well, that's already a pretty good start then. Well, I think I'll get the middle portion of this built. Yeah, that sounds like it's a pretty good start. I have a couple of silent ones and some ice dancers that I will loan to you when we play. So you probably okay if you just dug that out. And that looks like that fits like that. Yes, it does. Haha. It's like solving a puzzle. You will see. I probably will break down and open up the weird website. Oh man, please don't tell me this is clogged. No. Please do not tell me this is clogged. Oh, it's fully painted and based. Holy shit, man. That's awesome. Oh, wow. That is annoying, but I think I can fix it. Gotta clear the nozzle here. There we go. That should do it. Plastic cement is your friend and your foe. You can love it and hate it as I do. It kind of sucks at times. Okay. I feel like I'm missing an entire sprue. There's no way. I mean, what goes on the back there? What the hell? Oh, that must be it. So like a model like this, probably gonna paint up in like 2.5 seconds. But it's also gonna take like an hour to build. What the shit? I'm very close to giving up and looking at the weird website. That looks like that goes there. That does go there. Aha! But then what goes there? Let's find out. No dry fitting. You're a daredevil. Yeah, I don't have instructions or jack shit in front of me. We're just figuring it out. You should always build this way. It's a good idea. Hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Calcan? Calcan? I think that's how it's said. Malifaux model building is, let's say, not so good. Oh, hey, what's up, Kevin? How's it going, man? Yes, we are just building this like blind, essentially. Hey, look, like I said, it's like a giant jigsaw puzzle. It's like a 3-dimensional jigsaw puzzle that we're trying to solve here. This is a pretty damn cool model. But I don't understand why you just have weird one-off shoulders and stuff. I can't tell if this is a back shoulder or if it's like this is the fire golem. This looks like it goes here somewhere. As you can see, there's a giant gaping thing here. There's a piece that goes there. Whoa, that's a lot of shit. Right, I give up. Let's look at the thing. Let's look at the let's look at the online guide here. Okay, and let's go to the how to build your stuff. Man. Okay, weird resources. Here we go. No. Build instructions. Woo! And I'm going to type in fire golem. Oh, that still hurts. Wow, that's still, I mean, I'm right, but okay. That's still an eye chart looking at all this shit. Okay, I got that. I got that. This looks like this is part of the shoulder piece I was missing. As soon as you get some cards, down to play some learning games. I haven't played since the beginning. I have not played any 3rd edition yet, but I have been pretty busy recently doing a lot of research and unfortunately purchasing. And I'm going to try to have enough stuff ready for possibly for us to be able to try something on Sunday. That's the hope. That didn't help at all, the guide thing. This is the piece that goes there, but it didn't help. Where does that go? I think that confused me more, if that was even possible. I think I build the rest of this and then deductively figure out this. Oh, okay. Well, that helped. Yeah, like we should be able to. I've got plenty of Colette models built, but I wanted to build. I want to finish building a Karis crew, so we can. So I'll have two crews to mess around with. Okay, we're getting there, people. Let's build some arms, because arms look like they're easy to build. I need to find some stuff, though. I got to find my terrain. Got to find a second fate deck. What the hell? Let's zoom this. Zoom. Okay. Does it help? Ah. Figure once I get past this build, the rest will be a lot easier. So this kind of goes. What? What? Like that? Hold on. Hold up, man. Ooh, I'm going to trim that. You have beta cards. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's different from whatever version of beta you were in or you printed from versus what they finally released. I think you'd have to just look it up. Otherwise just see if I'm going to see if I can print from their PDFs. They have the, the available PDFs. How does this even go? That doesn't seem like that. This seems like that. Oh, that's because that is that arm. Okay, cool. Ha, just kidding. Instructions have this backwards. There we go. Excited to try out the fire golem because it looks cool. So it's like that. There's a Malifaux. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we were messing around with that. I saved a couple of like what I would consider to be kind of default crews. They're more like starting points, right? So like here's a 50 soulstone Colette list, and then you modify a few of the hires based on what your matchup is and what your strats and schemes are. That kind of thing. Failing that, you know, if I can't line it up for Sunday, then I'm down for some Aristea if anyone's around for Aristea Sunday. So I know Matt. So Matt will be around. But if any of you guys also want to jump in, that would be cool. We'll trim there. Look at that. I know how to do the obvious limbs. Obvious limbs are obvious. I'm recommending, well, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to play, like, me and Sean are probably going to try to play like a henchman hardcore. So that's like 25 soul stones and 4 models. That's what I'm going to try to do, because we're just trying to get core mechanics down. Like if you haven't played any version of Malifaux, then I think you need to start there. If you've played Malifaux before, you're probably all right to jump in at like 50 soul stones. Okay, so the feats are in 3 parts, because why not? Why? That's a lot of parts for feats. I shouldn't be complaining. Fire gammon. Now that's some shit to bitch about. Building plastic fire gammon. Some of the worst. That was some of the worst kit building I've done in a while. I was up late thinking about my decisions in life and what led me to that point. Oh. Okay. And this does not look like, this is part of the other foot, it looks like. There we go. There we go. Why do they make the model so top heavy though? Right? I'm assuming this is a right leg. Wow. What the shit, man? Oh, look at that. It's like when you make the discovery. Yeah. You guys like my elementary build style? Looking forward to M2E, but thoughts on Relic Knights 2E. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I don't know if I agree with you. Looks like finally being released after 2 to 3 years. I don't know that I agree with that. I mean, yeah, the rules probably have the rules out and some cards and that kind of stuff, but it's not like it doesn't feel like a full-fledged launch of anything at this point. It's more of like okay, we're just gonna end our beta and call this the official version. It's been a while since we played. We played some of the open beta stuff, and If I'm being honest with you, yes, I enjoyed it. I did. I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. Um, we played enough of it to like run a tournament. We had a tournament at Kingdom Con a couple years ago. So we enjoyed it. And we, back then we were like, oh, this is coming out soon. And we were just buying up a bunch of the old models and waiting for it. But it's very hard for me to be objective about it anymore. And it's super sad. I can't. That's sad because I've been a big supporter of Ninja Division over the years. I carried the torch for them for a while. I defended them against a lot of this stuff in early on when people were starting to get um, people were starting to get upset and worried that Super Dungeon Explorer Legends, SDE Legends would never come out, and so I was in their corner for a while, and I don't know that there was an exact moment that broke me, but these days it's like I can't invest the energy to be excited about it. If I'm just being completely real with you, like that's just I don't want to. I don't know. I want to. My gaming time is limited. My resources are limited. I want to spend those enjoying products that are out that are reputable and uh, yeah. So I'll get off the soapbox now. But yeah, it's been tough to say the least. Okay, now I got a bunch of weird pieces. I got the gist of the model built, but now I got a bunch of weird pieces that I have to try to find fit for. That I'm sure are they're just going to be very strange. They're going to fit in very strange ways. I have no idea how this one goes in. The diagram didn't really help. I gather it should be like that. I think that's how that goes. Oh, I think I'm very close. Yeah. Sorry, I know this is all off camera, but yeah. I think it's like that. Does this have to go in? I think that Arcade 2.0, I think it could, it had pretty good potential. And if it's still going to be a product, then okay, yeah, you could do something with it. It's fun. The mechanics seemed pretty interesting. We were having fun with it. We were having pretty good games with it. It's just hard for me to be after all this time and all the energy and everything that we put into it. It's just difficult for me to remain objective about it. I'm trying though, mate. Okay, we are almost done with this weird thing. It's a lot of pieces for this sort of it's like this burning. It looks like a giant burning crate, or more to the point, it looks like somebody lit the whiskey golem on fire. Cool. Okay. And then there's 3 little bits that we just have to find homes for. Understandable. I missed, yes. 1.0 was pretty fun, even at the beginning, and there was a lot of weird stuff with the game. The game was super quirky, but we had fun with it. We kind of accepted a lot of stuff about it. But we were pretty active running stuff for that. Okay. Where does this stuff go? It looks like nope. We just try pieces. Yes. Nope, nope, yes, that goes there. You found your fry core set. Okay, well that's usable. Von Schill is a master now, as with all those Book 2 henchmen. Whoa, whoa. You can see the raw precision with which how I put that piece in. Okay, where does this go? Oh, I see it. Yeah. All right, everyone clear now? We all know how to build a fire golem? I'm glad I was able to make that so clear for everybody. Now that we all know, now we can all build a fire golem together. Okay. And then let's build these other minis, which they don't seem that bad because they're all on sprues that seem to, and that usually kind of tells you where you need to go. These saboteurs look kind of cool. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yeah, that's Saboteur 1. These are cool too because these are versatile. So I'm very, very close to owning 2 whole keywords worth of stuff for my Arcanus, and then also I have a lot of the versatile models. So I'm gonna have some pretty decent hiring options once we start playing proper. A lot of little bits. Ah. Okay, that should be a whole Saboteur. Yeah, Frycore have a lot of, I mean, everybody has a lot more options than when we were playing. Huck a duck. So. Right row. Just got to clean up a little bit as you go. It's just an odd fit right there. Oh, that's annoying. There's kind of a handhold here. How weird. There's just all kinds of weird shit that... What? What? How does that even fit? What? Oh, it goes like that. Okay. Wow, that's annoying. So that goes like that. That just doesn't seem right. That don't seem right at all. Hold on. Let's do some stuff that we know. We know that that goes there. I get it, right? They got a bunch of detonators on them. Okay? Sure. We get that. Oh, this is a two-part detonator. So it's a piece glued to another piece to really detonate. Why did I agree to build these again? I don't know. Okay, so that goes like that. This goes here because you have another detonator there. And then where's the little walkie-talkie deal that's supposed to go in between? Wait. That makes no sense. So it goes, this actually goes like this. Just kidding. It's another cool thing about plastic cement. You can just, if you screw up, you just pull it apart before it physically fuses all the plastic together. And then once you reach the point of no return, too bad. Too bad. Oh, don't run away from me. All right. They are very glossy. Oh boy. Anyone have any? By the way, Kevin, what cruise do you run for Malifaux? Curious, my man. Sounds like Sean is gonna go Gremlins. I've got 2 Arcanist keywords. And I'm curious to know what other people are looking at playing. What is this thing? Like, I don't understand why she has holes. You some 10T? Oh yeah, you get Nekama crew. Cool. Okay, got an idea. Leave. And this goes like this, right? Isn't what do you do with the holes on her? That's frustrating. What? Why? Done did it. Did you see that? Okay. Where's the other stupid little hose then? That's what that is? Wow, that's just bad. You gotta. All right, good night, Chronomagus. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's see. That's nuts, man. So I gotta move. Probably gonna have to move. Let's pull this off for real quick. Because we gotta fit that sucker on there. Oh, come on. Like, why did that have to be a separate piece? Who, what, why? Here we go. That's just asinine. Why did that have to be a thing? Oh, wow. Now it's actually interfering with my ability to put the arm back on the way it's supposed to go. Oh, shoot. Hold up. Start over. Okay. Get that on. Then we get this on. Without screwing up that. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. Wow, that was dumb. Okay. Gremlins are no joke, man. So then I just throw the feet on her and we're done? And the legs? That was still easier than the stupid fire gammon. Tell you that. This does not look like the correct leg. Oh yeah, it does. It's just wow, what a weird position. So it's like that. Okay. Okay. Whew. Still going strong, people. All right. This one looks like fewer pieces. I hope. It's still kind of asinine, as you can see that I pulled the bowler out. Okay. All right. Let's start putting the next saboteur together. I still like stuff like this. I don't understand why. Whoa. Like, I don't understand why that has to be a separate joint right there. And then you have to glue the hat on it. I don't get that. I don't understand it. Oh, this looks like it might be one where I may want to do the legs first. Yeah, I'm at least gonna want to do that leg first. Or do you attach them together first? I don't know. I'll clean up here. Woo. Okay. It's one crazy. Oh, this is just test. Oh, sorry, Model Master. Model Master. Oh shit. Yeah. Is this guy like really crouching? Like he needs to take a shit crouching? Oh. Yeah, absolutely need to be. Oh, that's wild how that fits. I know I keep saying that, but it's true. Their leg positions are so awkward. Whatever 3D models they use to sculpt these must be like Cirque du Soleil acrobats or some shit. Because you just don't intuitively think the human body wants to bend that way. That is so weird. What the actual? What the? This guy's like Spider-Man. What the hell is he doing? It's a cool pose, don't get me wrong, but I just don't understand what the hell is even going on here. So it's like that. That is just crazy, man. That's how he go. He go like that. Okay, next one's done. Spider Noir. It is. Okay, one last dude to build. This guy kind of looks hilarious. He has like he's got like a sandwich board or something that he's holding in a hand. Oh, that looks horrifying. You have to just glue it onto that hand like a dick. What the hell? You just glue this here like this, and it doesn't even, there's not even a fit for it. Let me show you. Holy shit, man. Really? It just goes like that. Wow. Wow. Why? This almost seems like a test. Like, how much are you into Malifaux? You thought you were ready. You're not ready. But yeah, let's build these. I forgot why we were building these. Do I remember? Why did I decide to build these? Is there a reason? I think it's because I maybe wanted to have the fire golem ready for Sunday. Maybe that might be it. And then I was like, well, we're gonna build one. Might as well build the whole set. What is the smallest soulstone? I guess in the official sense it's 25, but I don't know. I don't think for demo games people can run whatever size they want. I've seen 15 soulstone games where it's like 2 models just to show you how things work. Personally, I would be down to play like, you know, 15. I'd be down to play like even 35. Okay, so apparently that goes like that. These little scarf things. Seriously, life is too short to be having to do dumb shit like that. I guess I should have done the legs first. That's odd. It just goes there, that leg. The gremlins I have are 23. I don't know. Is that what the soulstone amount you have from this set? I mean, if you wanted to just, I guess you're saying like if you wanted to just run a game with the set, yeah, absolutely. It's kind of what this is. This kit, this set is supposed to be, you are supposed to be able to run it like as its own type of encounter using the two crews that they give you. Yeah, if you want, like if you wanted to do that, this is 23 soulstones. You could run this as a henchman hardcore crew and just take 2 soulstones. It's actually going to be cheaper, I believe. But yeah, you could totally do that. Whoa. And he just has like a cherry bomb in his pocket. That's kind of awesome. And then this just kind of goes there, like so. But the problem is there's no latch for it. There's no support for it. I'll just put it like that, I guess. Oh. Okay. Okay, that's, oh, damn it. That's terrifying. That stupid sandwich board. Well, it's not a sandwich board, but now you know people did hilarious shit with his board. Probably wrote hilarious shit on or painted stuff on their minis. That's just asking to do something funny on it. Especially with the fact that it does not want to stay there. It is supposed to go, like it's supposed to wedge itself there. I think I gotta bend this arm down a little bit so that it fits. Oh, come on. Or maybe you bend it up and you go like that. Oh, crud. Man. Oh, that sucks. Okay, let's see if I can just get that to stay. If I can just get that to stay, that's not so bad. Okay, let's let that. Please don't move. It's still not straight. Okay, let's see if that will stay put long enough for me to glue them to the bases. They're done. Let's put them on the bases. Let's do that. This is the easy part. I say, famous last words. Really, because these bases are mostly firm, you can imprint like where they're gonna go. Use some super glue. Ugh. Wait, what was that? At least the game should be. Yeah. Yeah. This game is pretty fun. Flipping them cards, man, pretty fun. It no, it doesn't take away your shitty luck, but you do feel at least a better amount of control being able to cheat cards than you do, having to deal with dice. So yeah, you don't if the base stamp is still soft or somewhat soft, you don't even need to pin. You just need to be able to put some pressure on the model and they'll just stick. The bases, the one thing that's nice about these little deep well is, yeah, they're kind of a bitch to stamp, but once they're stamped, they look kind of cool. I don't even know where this guy is going to attach to the ground. He is just odd. Like what parts of him touch the base? Do that. Okay. Do not touch the sign, whatever you do. Do not use the sign to press him down into his base. Even though I'm really, really tempted to do that, we'll do that. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! No one touched shit. No earthquakes. We'll be good. Pretty stoked on that, folks. Looks like we got those ready to go. I could probably use another coat there on the base of the spiders, but they're table ready. We'll throw another blue coat on them. We got a couple of spiders done. We got this burning heart thing done. We're getting there, man. We're gonna have some shit ready, and we got this thing I gotta turn in tomorrow. All right, folks. So it is now 12:30. So I am gonna go to bed, but I'm gonna go to bed with a fairly productive evening done, and yeah, we're gonna wrap up here. So, oh shit! Don't knock over the miniatures. So yeah, man, looking forward to getting the first games done of this, getting some learnings in, but pretty excited. Should be good stuff. So with that, I want to thank everyone for watching. Have a good night, guys, and we'll catch you on the next one.